Another England player who has been performing though this season, and the final player on this list is Elliot Anderson, who obviously a Nottingham Forest midfielder with a €60 million market value at this moment in time. Ben, I'm still heartbroken that he never chose to play for Scotland. I was trying my best to kind of push that campaign before, he kind of rose to prominence, because I think it's probably fair to say when he did make that €41 million move from Newcastle to Nottingham Forest, people thought, this is just clubs kind of playing with the PSR rulings. It's not really about his talent or his potential. But I mean, that now looks like something of a steal, despite the fact that it was such a sizable transfer fee, 18 months ago?
Absolutely. So at the time, he moved for €41 million. His market value at that time was just €15 million, and he'd only played just over 1,000 minutes in the Premier League. We hadn't seen much of him in a Newcastle shirt. The prospect was there, and he looked exciting at times, but he wasn't starting games regularly and wasn't having the sort of impacts. And like you say, with I think the goalkeeper Flacadimis went the other way for €23 million, and it did reek of one of those PSR deals that was happening a lot of that time where, teams are trying to get the profits up. But I mean, 41 million now looks an absolute steal. It really does. He's now at 60 million euros, and that fee will go up. It's whether it's how much, because the interests. I mean, recent reports suggest that Evangelos Marinakis, the flamboyant Forest owner, wants about 140 million euros for him. Now, a club's not going to pay that. He's not going to go for 25 million more than Declan Rice did. I do think there's a chance they can get around 100 million euros. There's plenty of interest there. The latest reports suggest Man City are doing everything they can to try and persuade him to come, with Man United also very interested. We know Man United are in the market for at least probably 2 central midfielders this summer. So there's plenty of interest there. Again, good chance he starts for England alongside Declan Rice. So that's another one similar to sort of Krupi Jr. and Igor Thiago, where we'll be keeping an eye on those sort of reliable rumours and the fees that are being associated with him towards the end of the season and how he performs, and that will affect the value of trying to sort of predict what he could go for this summer. If he does, as expected, probably move on from Forest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be really interesting to see if the likes of Man United or Man City maybe try and make a move before the World Cup. We often see this in these World Cup years where sometimes business does get done beforehand so that, these players don't have their market values inflated due to World Cup performances. It shouldn't matter how they play in like 5 or 6 games at a World Cup, but everyone listening to this show will be able to think of one example of a player moving on to, one of Europe's biggest clubs off the back of some performances, and maybe Elliot Anderson might do that for England. So maybe your likes of Man City or Man United might think, let's just pay the €100 million now, get out of the way in case he obviously goes on to do something remarkable in North America this summer.